an alert channel, the Sub-Zero alerts, where you receive your infrastructure alert. Let's say we receive a alert. This is an alert which is triggered from your monitoring systems. So there is a Sherlocks EKS cluster where there's a deployment called as API service, which is in a crash loop and which has 32 restarts, and it has been restarting for, let's say, last 20 minutes or so, right? Uh, how Sherlocks works is first it tries to figure out what is the infrastructure entity that is being impacted, then it goes to the whole investigation, and then it comes up with root causes, and then it tries to fix it. Uh, as soon as the Sherlock's bot is added to the alerts channel, it is able to listen to all of the alerts that are being received in this channel. On the basis of that, it tries to figure out what is the next action. Let's say in this case, what we see, Sherlock has rightly identified that there's a API service create as deployment in the infrastructure, which needs impacted. Now, in this case, there's a system understanding of this as 67%, where we know a lot of things about the service, but at the same time, there's some things which are missing about maybe what are the downstream interactions, or maybe what is the runbook URL, or what are the nodes, etc., etc. Right? In this case, we can explore all of those what is there in the infrastructure, but on a very overview level, we already know that interacts with a code analyzer service, it interacts with a Mongo database, and so on and so forth. This might be a couple of interactions or the full interactions, and if we want to add some new interaction, let's say a downstream service, we want to add it like your let's say infra scanner, you can even add that. So anything that we want to link it manually in the whole infrastructure, that is what we can link it. We can also add context to the alerts if we want, if we think that there is something that is missing in the whole infrastructure map, or there's some information that is missing in the alert context itself that might help Sherlocks, we can even add that. Once we add that, so basically there's an existing investigation found for this particular incident. So there are incidents, and there are some investigations that are already being done by Sherlock's earlier. So it tries to reference to those. If we want, we can run a fresh new investigation. Let's say for this use case, let's run a fresh investigation altogether. Sherlock will start to investigate the whole investigation in a new format for this case. It will try to come up with the own hypothesis and everything, and then once it comes up, we can see that. In the infrastructure map itself, Sherlock tries to give some recommendations as well. What it suggests, we run a lot of static linters on your clusters, etc., so that we know what else you can improve. So let's say for networking, you have two suggestions in place. If we go into details, we can see there are some risks to that. Your port is being an issue here. What is the desired state? What is the current state? It shows you all, and what is the evidence? How we came up to this. Um, Apart from that, there are memories as well, where you can see what all memories that we have. So let's say there's a known remediation issue or the known root cause that has been derived from your tribal knowledge. We'll come back to this later. Okay, so Sherlock has already sent a lot list of hypotheses that it feels that it needs to validate. So in this case, it has given 5 of those. It can be n number of hypotheses that we might validate depending on what the incident is. This is a simple investigation of a crash loop. Hence, there are only 5 hypotheses that Sherlock is going to validate. This is your investigation hypothesis status, and this is your investigation board. In this, you will see that we are going to validate invalid startup configuration and so on and so forth. But for any given investigation, we have a leading theory, which is generally the most probable theory for the given incident or the alert. So this is the leading theory, but at the same time, we try to validate all of those so that we come up with the final root cause. These signals mean that this H1 being the highest confidence probability theory, or when it comes to the yellow ones, these are medium level confidence causal chains, and then these are red, which are low confidence causal chains. The way that we had built this is now this is open platform where uh, on-call engineers can uh, uh, use the platform to validate their own hypothesis or cancel the hypothesis and speed up the whole investigation process. So let's say in this case, this is the hypothesis which has been derived from the memory that I was showing above for that. for the given infrastructure. And I know that this is not a OM crash loop for sure. So what I can actually do is we can even cancel this hypothesis that Sherlocks don't even validate this. Let's say not worth validating. So if I cancel this hypothesis, this hypothesis is not going to be validated, and this saves a lot of time for the agent at work. At the same time, what we can do is we can add a new hypothesis. Let's say we think that there could be a SSL certificate expiry issue. Maybe the application on start checks for the SSL expiration. If it does, it restarts the container slash pods, etc. Right? We can just add that with no hypothesis, with no evidence, and Sherlock's might be able to validate it. So it has been already added to the chain of hypothesis that Sherlock's is going to validate. We have already cancelled this. So in the whole investigation status, we'll see that H4 is cancelled, but at the same time, rest others are being still investigated. Sherlock's live logs shows you what all things are going on, what it is not able to do, what it is able to do, and there are a lot of requests that might not succeed because of your permissions, etc. That we'll come to later. But it shows, gives you what all it's reading at this current moment, and then there are sub agents rating each of those hypotheses. So it tells you which all sub-agents are in process of doing what. So that is the second thing. One of the things that we already made sure was that whenever a user gives a hypothesis, let's say in this case the H6 one, whenever a new hypothesis is being fetched for validation, the priority is of the user hypothesis. We believe the user hypothesis has to be prioritized and validated first rather than the other ones. In this case, you will see that, let's say, the Signos investigation has already been completed as a sub-investigation for the H2 part, but the rest, Kubernetes investigation is still in progress. Once both of the sub-agents get their work done, the H2 might be in some state of stating a verdict. So that is this. Even I'm sure that the upstream requests might not be the issue. I can maybe even cancel this. I have verified it's not the so this is also done. One of the other things that is there that Sherlocks might have link or connections with some of your data platforms, but there might be some cases where I might not have the access to your different data sources. So in this case, on-call engineers can add those evidence. Maybe it could be logs, it could be a JSON, it could be anything, and you can just mention how this evidence can help. Either we link it to some of your any of your hypotheses, or we provide it for on the alert layer. On the basis of that, Sherlock's will pick that evidence and expedite or improve its hypothesis validation. So that is that. At this point, all of it is being validated. Commits are being checked, logs are being checked, but none of the new sub investigation agents have come up with their final verdict. Um, So at this point, the H3 has just been validated and it has given the verdict and it is in the favor that it has been validated. If we see H3, it gives me MongoDB init failure. Now, how did it came up with the hypothesis that MongoDB init was a failure? It is because we had the infrastructure graph. We knew that one of the data interactions is a MongoDB for the API service, and hence it was able to do that. Here, if you see the what is the verdict that is confirmed, it is due to it says the same because of the topology we were able to figure out, but in the config there was a mismatch that MongoDB replica set env is not set, and that is why it is failing. Uh, Now what happens is whenever any one of the hypothesis is validated and confirmed, we try to come up with the whole reason for that. Why it was updated was the H1 is also being confirmed and it is in the positive state where it confirmed that because of that in because it is an invalid startup configuration issue, and the second is Mongo init failure. Both of them have been validated and confirmed. At the same time, your SSL certificate expiry issues is still being trying to be validated. Here, if you see, it shows that this is preliminary and evolving investigation because there are a couple of hypotheses which are still in flight. Sherlock's works in this way: whenever one of the hypotheses is validated and is in favor, it tries to come up with a root cause. Here it exactly mentions that H1 and H3 both says that it is a MongoDB init failure issue where MongoDB replica set is not present in the secret and hence it is failing. In the application side, it is a mandatory thing for that to work. So it gives that. It even says that there are still evolving chances for how to figure out what change, when it changed, etc. So that is still being evaluated. But the current investigation or the code-based investigation that it did for the given time windows, it didn't show anything. The reason is this has been a long pending issue in the whole service, so it's not a recent change that it made. So that's why it is not able to track the same. It shows MTTD as 7 minutes. The reason here is that uh, so the first hypothesis comes, we assume it's MTTD. When it is 4x, why it says it's 4x faster, the human baseline, we assume it to be 30 minutes, and hence that is the case. We see that the H2 is already validated and is not in favor, and hence the MTT, the root cause is not being updated here because it gets updated only on the cases when it is supported. Um, H6 is the only one which is remaining and it's still being validated, for which a lot of different things are being checked. You can see here it is searching for code issues where it is checking for your SSL prem key or SSL based regex says. Now, as you can see the message here, as soon as the root cause is arrived, we start the remediation plans uh, as soon as possible. So at this point, the agent is looking for a remediation plan for the whole incident, and the remediation plan should be here in no time. So the remediation suggestions have also been arrived. So how we look at remediations is that we suggest you a couple of options, what can help you. We try to give you, is this option a low risk or a high risk, is this reversible or not reversible, what are the constraints in the whole process, how much time does it take for the whole process, which is the category of the whole remediation. Let's say one is configuration review, another is application investigation, or third is deployment rollback, and so on. We also recommend one of the plans which is highly probable and highly likely to be used. So let's say in this case, plan A is being suggested where you can fix the ENV and the topology configuration. Let's say if you want to realize the plan A, we can click on that and the plan starts to be realized and a step-by-step action plan will be arrived for this case. The other ones, why didn't I choose that was so application investigation takes a decent amount of time. It looks at the code base, it tries to understand the whole code, it tries to generate a PR, but at the same time, um, it is also necessary that it is fixed in this way that the secret is already being available in the ENV, because even if the application starts without it, the application might run, but it might have some issue or it might not work as expected. So that is one. Database connections are a primary source for data in the whole application, and hence those variables should be uh, always present. If it was some other variable, we might have plan B as the proposed or recommended as well. Rollback to deployments is also one of the good issues, one of the good remediations, but then even this is a mitigation step and not exactly the remediations as such. We have already got the plan for the whole process that we need to do. So you will see here that the step one is just read the current values from it. So let's say we confirm that it is missing. Now we need to add the missing values. So even then there is a command for that. Then again, the third step is after you update your secrets, etc. You need to restart the service for that to apply. A lot of times that gets missed by the on-call engineers when they are on the incident. So you restart the service and then you try to see if it is persisted or not. Maybe we use Helm, we use external secrets. That is not exactly mentioned in the knowledge graph, and hence it says that you need to persist that in the source of truth. There are a couple of commands how to verify it and how to roll back. So the whole point is that Sherlock's investigation starts with the alert, then there is an infrastructure identity that is identified. Then the whole investigation process runs, where you can see the live investigation logs, the live investigation board, and you can contribute the hypothesis, etc. In this case, let's say the H6 was contributed by the user, and we see that both the sub agents have already completed their piece of work, and hence the verdict should be here in no time for the H6 as well. Um, and so here we see H6 is already been refuted, and it says that it is a MongoDB issue and not the SSL issue, and there is no the namespace has no cert manager resources or Kubernetes TLS secrets, etc. And hence this issue is not um, something which could be linked to the whole alert and its root cause. The root cause was already came up. Then there were remediation suggestions that we had, and then finally there was the whole process on how to apply that remediation. So this is how the Sherlock's AI platform works.